Hi everybody, it's Dana here. Hope you're having a good day. And I'm here today next to my Compost brewing tea station. And what I have here is two 5-gallon buckets with spigots. I do have another video demonstrating how I put the spigot in the 5-gallon bucket, and it works amazing. So I highly suggest putting a spigot in and using a 5-gallon bucket for the Compost tea brewer. One benefit is that you can just carry this over to the sink and rinse it out, which I do after every batch, so that none of that slime gets kind of built up in there. So anyway, I'm here today and I have a little dilemma. Right now my worms are working really hard on making some compost, some worm castings, and they're not quite finished yet, and it does take a while in between batches. I just harvested a batch and I used the whole thing for like all these fruit trees that I was putting in, so now I'm totally out of it. But I just started some of the tomatoes and peppers inside in a little greenhouse setup. So I would like something to water them with, but I don't have any worm castings to make compost tea. So I was thinking, what do I have? And I have this. This is the worm tea, all the leachate that collects at the bottom of the tray and comes out of the spigot. And I was thinking, you know, this is filled with beneficial microbes because it in fact goes through all of the material that the worms composted, and so basically it's got everything in it. So I was thinking, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the buckets, and usually I alternate buckets, but I'm in need of a lot of compost tea right now, so I'm going to do both. So I filled up the buckets half with non-chlorinated water, which I just let bubble overnight for 24 hours. And the other half, I actually have a fish tank, so I save that water when I change the water, and I top it off with fish water, which has wonderful nutrients for plants in it. And then I'm going to add a cup of the worm tea into each of the buckets. Let it brew. I'm going to put the molasses in too and let it brew for 24 hours and use that on the plants instead of having the worm castings or compost actually float in there in a tea bag. So it's a little experiment, but we'll see how it works. Alright, so let me bring you in and show you how we're going to set this up. Okay, so here is my brew station. Got the two 5-gallon buckets with spigots. Got a bucket of fish water and some worm tea. Now how I do this is I've got a air pump that has two air stones. One, this little one, usually has the compost in a bag, the paint filter bag, hanging from it, so it's a little shorter. And then on the bottom I have the bigger air stone, which gets a really good bubble going. And I'm going to put some more fish water in this one to top that off. There we go, all topped off. And then I'm going to put about a cup of the worm tea in each of the buckets. Save the rest for the next batch. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of molasses just to feed the microbes. There you have it, worm tea brewing in the Compost tea brewers. And I'll let you know how this turns out and how the plants love it. So take care, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.